Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Oh, goodness me. It's been a while. Well, what? What? What is this? Boy, vey, I tell you the truth. A man is a minute or two late, and this is the abuse he gets. No, you're not being rug pulled. What's the matter with you? Oh, my God. Yes, it feels like it's been forever. I agree totally, my dear. Totally agree, and glad to have you in the house today, Atlanta. Mwah! Hello, all you good folks out there in internet land. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Yes. Yes, his name came up in lights. Oh my gosh, I tell you what. First of all, cheers to everybody out there. Oh my gosh. Oy vey. I tell you what. The band is too loud? Oh, well, we'll do something about that. Hold on. Oh, one moment, please. We can drop the volume on those boys. One moment. There, how's that? Okay. All right. Now, good to see you guys out there. For those of you who have never been here before, or maybe it's been a long time since you've checked in. Well, thank you for noticing. It is a brand new hat. It's a brand new hat. Hey, let's not be. The boys in the band work very hard. Okay, we'll try and there's going to be adjustments that have to be made with the passing of time. Okay, that's a little better. With the passing of time, we're trying to make this thing work for everybody. So, it's all good. All good. Anyway, hi, how are you doing out there in internet land? My name is Brian Trippett. I am the Front Porch Conservative, and welcome to the Saturday Night Supper Club. As I said, a gathering of folks who enjoy not only good food, but good news, or news in general. We are on Rumble, we are on X, and we are on that quaint little alternative social media platform known as YouTube. So if you're here tonight, glad to have you. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so. We'd really appreciate it. Hit the bell for notifications, hit the thumbs up button, all that good stuff. We're trying. That's how you do it. Okay. Now, first of all, it's been a long time since I've seen some of you, and bless your hearts. Yes, shalom, my dear. We're glad to have you here with us tonight. Glad to have you in the house. Mwah. Good to see you, dear. No, deviled eggs are not on the menu. I beg your pardon. Before I came on this live stream, I cooked myself a steak. And if you don't believe that, here are said remnants of said steak. Thank you very much. Oh, my word. I tell you what, no respect. No, it wasn't chuck roast. It's just a normal steak. Oh my goodness. Anyway, we're first of all, we're glad to be back. It has been a long time, it feels like. Long time indeed. Work and family and traveling and everything else is just leaving me with very little time. No, I did not bring the leftovers with me. I had the steak sitting here trying to make some preparations for the live stream, and we're going that route. Oh, I tell you what, the abuse I'm taking tonight, jeez. I tell you what, that's just awful. Just plain awful. Terrible, I say, terrible. Well, thank you for acknowledging the obvious. Oh my word, it's terrible. Terrible, I say. Oh my goodness. Well, we're trying something new this evening. Well, that's very sweet. That is very sweet of you. That is very, very sweet of you, sir. And I genuinely appreciate that. I'm not leaving you. It's just tough sometimes. It really is. Anyway, glad to have you all here tonight. We're trying something new. And I think I'm going to like this once I totally get used to it. Tonight, for the first time ever, we are um, live streaming over Rumble Studio, and I'm not gonna lie, I knew about Rumble Studio for a while, but I've been very hesitant to try it because I thought, well, have they really got all the bugs worked out of it? Is it really as good as StreamYard? Or I tell you what, it's not bad. It is not bad. Really? Really? Oh my God. Y'all are just plain awful. I tell you what. Terrible, I say. Terrible. Anyway, we're trying Rumble Studio tonight, and I've got to admit, so far, I like what I see. I'm very, very happy with this. Um, no, I have not had a month to figure it out. Would you stop it? Jeez, Pete, I tell you what. Anyway, we're trying Rumble Studio, and I must admit, so far, I find the experience to be pretty good. I really have nothing to complain about. We're glad to have y'all here with us. And it's been a while, man. It has absolutely been a while. I've missed you guys. And like I said, it's a combination of work, taking trying to do things for family, traveling, everything else. And yeah, it's been a while. So finally I was like, okay, I've got a little bit of downtime here. Um and it's like, okay, Saturday morning is not going to work, which I will explain why here in just a minute. And I thought, okay, let's do this on a Saturday night. Saturday evening seems like a good time to do this. Hopefully, a lot of people out there on social media will check us out, see what we have to say, and try and make all of this work. So, we're glad you're here with us tonight. Glad to see old friends, seeing new friends, hopefully. And if you're here for the first time, be it on X, be it on YouTube, be it on Rumble, hey, drop a comment. We'd love to hear from you. We'd love to say hello to you, welcome you to Fedora Nation, and just have the opportunity to say hi and all that good stuff. So yes, by all means, we would love to have you here with us. So let me I'm going to be jumping around a little bit in the order because the reason that I'm doing it this evening. Hello, Mr. Scott. Awesome. We're glad to have you here with us tonight. Yes, hit that thumbs up button, daggone it. But yeah, we are glad to see Mr. Scott Awesome in the house tonight. And yeah, we're the reason that I'm doing this. Oh, really? Really? This is interesting. Okay. Wait a minute. Seriously? As I showed everybody earlier, this is the leftover steak, what remains of it. And if you don't think it's real, there. And let me tell you, good to the last bite. No, there wasn't a dog that got to the steak first, for heaven's sake. Oh, for Lord Almighty. I go away for a little while, ladies and gentlemen. This is the abuse I get. It's terrible. Terrible, I say. No, it's not. No, it wasn't tough. Not at all. Not at all. Anyway, I had given some thought to doing my normal Saturday morning stream, Front Porch Brunch. The reason that I didn't is that, given that it is Mother's Day weekend, I took Ma Trippett out today to do something nice for her. Back in the day, they used to call it the beauty parlor, where ladies get their hair done and their nails done and all that good stuff. So I took her to the beauty parlor to get something done that she really enjoys, and that is a pedicure. So looking at the time when the appointment was, I was like, hey, I better not do this in the morning because I know how long-winded you guys can get. And I thought, well, we might be running into some time constraints here. So I decided instead to do a Saturday evening supper club. And it's been a while since we've done one of these. So for those of you who have never stopped by our channel before, the idea behind the Saturday Night Supper Club is an old concept. There used to be all over the country supper clubs, place where people would go. They might have to throw on a jacket. Jackets might be required. Dress up a little bit. Take their significant other out on the town. And these supper clubs were private little gatherings where people get together. And they dine on good food, have good conversation, that sort of thing. Well, that's sort of my vision for the supper club. There may be guests. Ideally, if I really had the time to throw into it, I'd have a guest on here every Saturday night and do it that way. But for purposes of getting, starting to swim in the water again, I thought, well, Saturday Night Supper Club might not be a bad way to go. So, with that, here we are. And as always, you guys are delivering. And I'm going to go ahead and let everybody know, for all who have provided memes, I got back here to the house at about maybe 5:15. So all your memes provided will be used on other occasions. There's a whole bunch of YouTube shorts. There's a whole bunch of memes of varying kinds. I tried to grab a few of them, and we'll put them up here tonight, because you guys have been gracious enough to put them together. Yeah, that's the idea behind the old supper club. Dancing, food, maybe a comedian, all while wearing your best. That's exactly what was envisioned for back in the day. And that's kind of, what we have in mind now. As I said in the advertisements on X and various other places, jackets are not required, but there are a certain amount of requirements for the Saturday Night Supper Club. One of them is conversation. We want you all to participate. We want to hear your thoughts on the news. No, there are not going to be any clowns, sir. There are no clowns in the Saturday Night Supper Club, except maybe for your host. Who knows? But anyway, we want you to participate. We want to hear from you what your guys' thoughts are on the stuff we're going to be bringing up. Also, my standing rule is this. If you want to disagree with somebody, perfectly fine. Just do it in an agreeable manner. No. Well, if we're not going to have clowns, we're not going to have mimes either. No, that is not, we're not doing mimes. No, absolutely not. No clowns, no mimes. I do not have the talent to be Marcel Marceau. There you go. And if you know that reference, we can definitely be friends. Anyway, respectful disagreements, as always. No, there is no juggling either. We're not doing any of that. God bless WWG1. You're killing me here, boy. You're killing me. Well, now she may. I cannot speak to what your habits are out there in the audience. Maybe the cigarette gal will be around later. I don't know. Anyway, we're glad to have you here tonight. Hope you have a lot of fun with us. Like I said, it's been a little while since we've gotten together. Looking forward to the laughs and the good times and the conversation. So, all right. Anyway, let's start getting down to it. We'll start off as we are a wont to do. No, you're not going to be allowed to dance on the tables after the band goes home. Good God. Lord, you guys are killing me. You're killing me out there. Anyway, we will start as we are wont to do with the merry memes. And as always, the gang is bringing it. And we are ever thankful for that. As you guys have heard in the news, or may have heard anyway, hantavirus or hantavirus, I don't know quite how it's pronounced, hantavirus, I guess, is now starting to make the rounds in the news. More and more you're hearing about the hantavirus, that people are passing away because of it. No, my goodness. And understandably so. There's a certain amount of suspicion about all this because after everything we went through with the COVID-19 virus and the lockdowns and everything else, there is an appropriate amount of suspicion. Hey, are we getting set up for another one of these deals? Well, um, all around the world, reports are coming in of people who they've acquired hantavirus and they're passing away. For example, out of the great nation of Ireland, we have this one. At least I hope we will. Come on. I know you're there. Oh, there it is. Maybe. Oh, for heaven's sake, come on. Well, why are you not showing up? What is this? One second, folks. We are now, don't give up yet. Please, a little patience with your host as he's trying to figure this out and make this work. Thank you. Ah, there it is. Ah, I forgot about that. There we go. Yeah, here's Ireland's first confirmed case of hantavirus. Apparently, though, his parachute didn't open, but he did die from hantavirus. So, we can confirm that, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, hantavirus is already starting to take over the world. There you go. There you go. Take that, TBA. Huh. How much for Rumble Studio? No, my computer did not get hantavirus. Thank you very much. Good Lord. So, yes, hantavirus is here with us, ladies and gentlemen. And apparently hantavirus is something that is affecting not just humans, but it's affecting animals to the point that we are, according to reports, we're now able to hear conversations that happen between animals. I know it sounds like the craziest thing you've ever heard of, but it's out there and it's being reported. So, matter of fact, we even have we caught on camera a conversation that took place between two different animals. And if you don't think this thing is real and not a little bit scary, I ask you to rethink that position. Check this out. Yikes. Really? Hang on. All right, let's try that again. Hang on, folks. No sound, he says. Okay, well. All right, let's try this one more time, shall we? All right. Tell me if you hear the sound on this one.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony. What's your name? Ezekiel. Fuck you, Ezekiel. Fuck you. Fuck you.
All right, we got sound. All right. Woohoo! Yay. This is good to hear. Yes. Yes. It's the little victories in life. Robert Lowry, you are down in Mexico? Oh, no, it's in Mexico. It's the Wanta virus. Well, look, I don't know what Juan was doing with this virus. Maybe he was doing some things he shouldn't be doing, but well, maybe Wanta virus started down there, came north. Now it's Hanta virus. Who knows? It's crazy. Anyway, Robert, we are glad to see you, sir. Absolutely glad to see you. looks like we've got a nice, let's see, we got a nice smattering of folks. We've even got folks on locals. You got folks on locals, I'll tell you what. Good to have the locals folks with us. Not sure who you are, but hey, feel free to drop in a comment. Says you can only get hantavirus from rat feces. Didn't Gene Hackman and his wife, that's what they diagnosed, that they're determined that they passed away from? In my memory, I keep thinking that's the case. Keep thinking that's the case. But anyway, yeah, we got a good smattering of people over on Rumble. We got a good smattering of people on X. Good smattering of people over on YouTube. Glad to have all of you here tonight. Good to have all of you here tonight. All right, what else do we have in the way of the merry memes? You know, it is graduation season. And matter of fact, I think my local university here in town had their graduation ceremonies today. If anybody can confirm that, just give me a shout in the chat. But I mean, colleges and universities all around the country are having their graduation ceremonies. Parents are very proud. Matter of fact, the lady, her son is graduating from the university he's been attending now for the past few years, and she's enjoying all the fruits that come with being the parent of a soon-to-be college graduate. And shout out to the lady and the lady's son on this a most momentous weekend. But even they did have their graduations. I thought that was the case. That they were having their graduations today. Thank you, WWG1. I appreciate that. But even before college graduations, or even high school graduations, there are things that children do in school that just make their parents so proud. Matter of fact, it's moments like this that help parents truly appreciate their children and help them to be proud of the people that they're growing up to be. When a kid can look at a teacher in this situation and make that kind of a comment, I agree with the father. I'd be proud too. I'd be totally proud. So there you go. There you go. All right. I got to get rid of something here, or try to anyway. Oh, good. There it is. Okay. Yay. Maybe I am going to get used to this Rumble Studio thing. I tell you, maybe I will be getting used to this. I like it. I do like it. Okay. All right. What else do we have in the way of the merry memes? Yes. We've reached that point in the live stream where we have that segment that that talks about the ongoing relationship between men and women, particularly in marriage. And you know what? For all you ladies out there, you married ladies in the audience, and we know you're out there. God love you. God love you. Don't tell me you haven't had a moment like the one I'm about to show you with your husband. Because bless his heart, he's trying to be helpful, but it just doesn't work out. And if you don't believe me, watch this. Okay. Man is stepping in. Man is trying to do manly things. Man has idea. Okay, so far this is looking pretty good. Ooh, man is playing with fire. Ooh, man make fire with fire stick. Yeah, that one's not that one bless his heart. Bless his heart. Yeah. Now wait a minute. Are you laughing at the situation, or are you just being unkind to the poor man who's trying to help his wife? Inquiring mind. I mean, inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, yeah, it is kind of a Tim Allen sort of a thing. You got that right, brother. You got that right. That's definitely a Tim Allen sort of thing. Goodness me, goodness me. Oh my word. All right, what else do we have here? Well, it's been a bad week for the Democrats on Capitol Hill. Exactly. I mean, bless his heart, he tried. He tried. Much like Tim Allen. He tried. Bless his heart. Translated, you so dumb. Yeah, I'd say you're probably right. He is going to be sleeping on the couch. Well, that's true. That is true. That is true. So it's been a bad week for the Democrats on Capitol Hill. And as you might expect, they're going to go out and they're going to try and spin a bad situation to try to make it at least tolerable for themselves. And U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer, minority leader in the U.S. Senate, took to the Senate floor and gave a speech, and we caught part of it, and we thought you might like to hear this. So with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, here is Chuck Schumer, Democrat from New York, minority leader of the U.S. Senate, and his comments about current events happening in the United States.
Kash Patel is a danger to the Democratic Party. If he keeps digging around, we're basically all fucked. I mean, we've been doing all kinds of illegal shit like stealing money, stealing elections, funding the KKK and shit. So anyway, Kash Patel had one beer at a hockey game. So let's get him with that. Just keep talking about it on the fake news all day long until he resigns. Thank you very much, guys. Have a nice day. Oh, and all hail the Democrat Party.
Guys, I don't know about you, but I don't think this is one of the better speeches that old Chucky boy could have given. Yeah. Yeah. Chuck, do better. Do better, my friend. Yeah, really. Woo. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. You know, much has been made about the American educational system. It's good, it's bad, it's ups, it's downs. And people are looking for signs that things are getting better. Well, we have a sign to share with you, but I'm not so sure it speaks to the I'm not so sure it speaks to how well things are going. Hey Robert, when you find the answer to that one, brother, let me know, because I would really, really love to talk the aliens into doing it. Problem is, now we'd probably have to pay them. But then again, that sort of begs the question: what do you pay an alien to take Democrats out of this world? Proverbially speaking, ladies and gentlemen, what do you pay them? I don't know. You know, do you give them carrots? Are they looking for veggies? I mean, what do they want? Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. This is my point. Democrats are bad off now. The aliens won't even take them. You know, we can't talk ET into coming down here and taking these people home. This is how bad off we are. You know, no, we don't think that aliens from another world are have a cookbook on how to serve man. No, we do not think that. Well, that's true. Maybe they're the reason they won't take them back is they gave them to us in the first place. Yeah, could very well be. Anyway, absolutely crazy. But if you're wanting proof that maybe the American education system is not everything it's cracked up to be, here might be a sign of how things are going. Now, this sign does bring up some interesting questions. if shoplifters are going to be prostituted, does that mean that the store owners are the pimps? I mean, these are questions that go through my mind. I mean, if the shoplifters are going to become the prostitutes, does that mean the owners of the bodegas and the grocery stores are going to become the pimps? And how does that work exactly? I mean, what's the split? I mean, is it like 90-10? You know, the pimps get 90 and the prostitutes get 10. How does this work? How is this working? Well, I mean, that's true. I don't necessarily disagree with that, but I mean, what? Oh, so 10% for the big guy. Oh, so the big guy in this case is the prostitute. Well, look, I don't know if it's a big guy or not. Look, there's questions about the anatomy I don't want to know. Okay, that's just no. Stop it. I don't need to know that. I don't want to know either. I don't know if they're a big guy or not. Maybe they're not a big guy. And if they're not a big guy, are you going to start giving them a complex when you use that kind of language? I mean, seriously. Yeah, geez, guys. I mean, come on. Let's be sensitive here. I mean, it's bad enough that they're shoplifting. It's bad enough they're being prostituted. Now we're going to start, working on their self-esteem. That's just ugh. Well, that's true. That is true. So long as they're not proliferated. Exactly. All right. What else do we have in the way of the merry memes tonight? Ah, yes. Trump loves in some ways to draw distinctions between the people who preceded him in his presidencies. Barack Obama being one, and Joe Biden being the other. He always likes to draw a line of distinction to, boost up himself and boost up everything he's doing, which, yeah, you can kind of understand that. Sometimes it's a little bit of overkill on Trump's part, but, what are you going to do? And to make his point about how tough, Trump is with regards to Iran, recently he posted something, and I thought you guys might be interested in this. Yeah. Although, is this really a fair comparison? I ask you. Is this really a fair comparison? I don't know. Wait a minute. What do you mean never overkills his trolling? Seriously? I don't know, man. I respectfully disagree. Sometimes he may overkill the trolling. Just may overkill it. Just saying. All right. But yeah. Trump is always trying to draw the distinction. And here's his latest efforts in that regard. So take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it is worth. All right. What else do we have here, folks? Okay. Well, that's a completely fair point. That is a completely fair point. I can't disagree with you on that one. Cannot disagree with you on that one at all. So there you go. Give me 1 second here, folks, because I'm trying to figure out something. Let's see. No, I don't want to do that. That's working just fine right now. And they must be coming from. Oh, hey, to all you folks over on X, that's where you're at. Okay, let me explain what I was looking at. One of the features that Rumble Studio gives you is viewer count by platform. And right now we have and I am not upset about this. Okay. With the understanding, I'm not upset about this. I'm actually quite pleased. Right now, across all the platforms we're on, we have about 32 people viewing this live stream. And for the fact that it was set up just a day or so ago, and the fact that we are, first time we've done this on a Saturday night in a long time, the fact that we have 32 people across all of our platforms, I'm very pleased about that. But the interesting aspect is I can see the number of people on Rumble. I can see the number of people on Locals, YouTube. For some reason, where X is concerned, Rumble Studio is not able to show the viewer count. Well, I just popped over to X and I'm able to see we've got 23 folks over on X who are checking out the Saturday Night Supper Club. And I am very thankful about that. So for all you folks over there on X who are checking us out tonight, first of all, welcome. We're glad to have you. And by way of introductions, if you just stopped by a minute or two ago, my name is Brian Trippett. I'm known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative, and this is the Saturday Night Supper Club. On occasion, we get together on Saturday night, talk about the news, and we give you a chance to give your views. So if you wouldn't mind, I would, well, no, I mean, that's fair. That's totally fair. That's totally fair, WWG1. I'm not upset about that at all. You know, like I said, my life has been absolutely a madhouse lately. So, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you in the slightest. So the fact that we've got all these folks on X and places, checking us out tonight, I'm very grateful for. I mean, I really am. And totally, yeah, hit the thumbs up wherever you might be out there. We'd greatly appreciate it. X and places, stop that. Don't. But yeah, we're glad to have you guys, and absolutely, we love the fact you're here. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated. So yeah, yes, it is showing the viewer count in the upper right hand corner. So yeah, I can see the viewer counts. I'm very happy about this tonight. So all right, one more meme, and that will get us to one of our topics for the evening. And you gotta love the kids at the Babylon Bee. And given what happened to them on Friday, this is probably one of the funniest things I've seen in a while. And if you're not a regular reader of the Babylon Bee, you may have missed this headline. Democrats, saving democracy requires one party to seize total power and rule forever. Like I said, you got to love the kids at the Babylon Bee. They absolutely have a way of just absolutely in one headline or one parody story encapsulating what we're seeing out there. So yeah, thanks to the kids of the Babylon Bee. Well, yeah, you're right about that, my friend. You're absolutely right about that. But what I'm referring to is something that happened, and I think a lot of Republicans are celebrating what happened Friday. I'm not so sure they've got a reason to really celebrate yet, and I'll explain what I'm getting at. Let me pop this story up on the screen, and we'll get into a discussion about this. From NBC News, Virginia Supreme Court blocks Democrat congressional map, boosting GOP midterm hopes. The court ruled that the Democrats did not follow proper procedure when they put the constitutional amendment on the ballot in April in an effort to flip 4 House seats. Article by Jane Tim of NBC News. We have the following. The Virginia Supreme Court, let me see if I can enlarge this, make this a little easier for you guys to read. There we go. The Virginia Supreme Court on Friday blocked a new Democrat-drawn congressional map from taking effect, delivering a major boost for Republicans as they defend their narrow House majority in the midterm elections. Weeks after Virginia narrowly approved the plan in a statewide vote, the court ruled that Democrat lawmakers did not meet the procedural requirements to place a constitutional amendment on the ballot, which was written to pave the way for the redrawn district lines. Democrats were seeking a map designed to give the party up to 4 new seats in the U.S. House. The ruling, coupled with the GOP map drawing efforts in other states in the last year and the U.S. Supreme Court's recent rulings overturning racial gerrymandering regulations in the Voting Rights Act, means that Republicans will head into the midterms with a clear redistricting advantage. State legislators, voters, and other forces have redrawn maps in 8 states in the last year. Virginia State Supreme Court struck down a Democrat map on Friday, arguing the process to pass the Constitution Amendment did not follow proper procedures. And you got like Florida, you got Texas, you got Missouri, Tennessee. Tennessee's done it. They passed theirs on Thursday or Friday. But yeah, Republicans could gain as many as 14 seats from redrawn maps across 6 states so far, compared with 6 for Democrats from redrawn maps. But there could be significant variations based on the actual election results in those districts, which are not necessarily easy wins for the party that drew them. Democrats need a net gain of at least 3 House seats in November to flip the House majority. In Virginia, the state Supreme Court concluded that the legislature began its constitutional amendment process too late to be lawful. Quote, this violation irreparably undermines the integrity of the resulting referendum vote and renders it null and void, the court wrote in its order. Lawmakers are required to pass a constitutional amendment through 2 consecutive legislative sessions with an election in between before placing it on the ballot. Republicans argued that the Democrat-controlled legislature first passed the amendment when the early voting was underway ahead of Virginia's 2025 statewide elections. Democrats tried to counter by saying that Election Day itself, not the start of early voting, is the relevant date. All right, let's talk about this for a little bit. And let's see some of your comments so far. Yeah, TBA is like, here's the other headline. Democrats are furious their plans are exposed. And you're not wrong there, my friend. Oh, yeah, John, I'd say you're probably right. And welcome in, my friend. Welcome to the Saturday Night Supper Club. We're glad to have you here, sir. Glad to have you indeed. So, yeah, we're absolutely glad to have you here. It's been a while since we've seen you, brother. Let's see. What other comments do we have out there? Yep, that is absolutely true, my friend. Absolutely true. Violated the Virginia Constitution, throwing that redistricting crap on the ballot. Hold TBA. I just saw a comment from you. Hold on to that, brother. We will get to that in a minute. Yeah. Well, I'm not so sure about Alabama. That one's getting kind of iffy, but I'll explain why here in a minute. See what other comments we've got before we get into this. Let's see. Really? You think so? Well, see, okay, let me just give you my take on this. Okay. Like I said, with what happened on Friday, there are a lot of Republicans out there that are just absolutely tickled to death that this has happened. And I guess from a purely partisan standpoint, I can understand where they're coming from. Okay. It felt like the Democrats had a lot of momentum, and I would argue that I think they still do. A lot of momentum, towards taking back the House. This blunted that momentum. However, I disagree with TBA on something, and I think not just TBA either. Let me kind of explain where I'm coming from here. I don't know that what the Virginia Supreme Court did is really going to make that big of a difference come November. And here's what I'm getting at. Okay, so Virginia struck down what the Democrats did, which means as opposed to a 10-1 Democrat advantage over Republicans in the House seats, it goes back to 6-5. Okay, the Tennessee legislature has now redrawn their congressional map ahead of their primaries, and the Republicans have net gained 1 seat. Okay, Texas net gained, 4 or 5 seats, maybe about a year or so ago, etc. Okay, all that's good. So that means that there are more Republicans that someone could vote for. Okay, great. Somebody explain to me, how what has happened in the past 48 hours changes the motivations of Republican voters come November. Now, I can just hear y'all out there right now. Front porch, what are you talking about? What do you mean changing Republican motivations? Okay, let's stop and think about this for a second. Gasoline prices are still high. Okay. We are still engaged in an unpopular war with Iran. Unpopular, some people might even argue unconstitutional. I would throw in the words ineffective. I would throw in the words stalemated. I mean, there's a lot of negatively connotated words I could throw in to describe the Iran war. Okay. So gas prices are still high. We're still involved in a very unpopular war by whatever definition you want to use. Okay. Inflation is still running amok. Okay. And look, people like Robin McCutcheon are economists and they know better this stuff than I do. But from my part, I don't think we have seen the full effects of what's happening in the Iran war, the blockade on the Strait of Hormuz, the blockade of the Persian Gulf. I don't think we've seen yet what this is going to do as far as inflation here in the United States. I'm sorry. You take 13 million barrels of oil out of the world's supplies pipeline, and that's going to start affecting something somewhere along the way in the supply chain. Okay. You've got a president who every time he turns around, it seems like he's spitting in the face of the very people who not only stood by him through the bad times, stood by him when people were trying to put him in jail, stood by him and voted for him. He's spitting in the face of everybody. Okay. So I say all that to set up this. If none of those factors are going to change between now and November, what difference does it make how many Republican districts you've got? People have no incentive to come out and vote for the Republican candidate that's running for the House of Representatives. Yes, you have saved 4 seats in Virginia. That's great. On paper, you've saved them. The votes haven't even been tabulated yet. What incentive do conservative, populist, libertarian-leaning voters have to come out and vote for Republicans for the House and Senate? Yes, the Republicans have increased on paper the number of Republican districts in this country. That's great. Good for you. But what's that doing for my wallet? In other words, okay, you've done this for yourself. Now, why should I vote for you? What concrete plans are you laying out as to how you're going to lower the cost of living in this country? What concrete plans are you willing to engage in that lowers gasoline prices? Okay. Now, some of that they have that the Congress has control over, some of it they don't. I understand that. But my point is this. Republicans in the Congress and the Senate up to now have done little to nothing to fight for me or you or anybody else across the country. So again, why should we go out and vote for them? Oh, you're being awfully black-pilled about this. No, oh, I'm not. I'm really not. I'm asking what I think is a very fair question. Well, we got to vote for the Republicans. Otherwise, we'll get the Democrats in control. Yes, that's bad. And yes, Democrats are, pardon my language, batshit crazy. They are rabid fanaticals. Rabid fanatics. I don't disagree with that at all. But why should I vote for the Republicans? They do nothing. Well, at least they're not doing anything to harm us. They're not doing anything to help us. I have always said I would rather have an honest enemy than a dishonest ally. So again, I ask the question, why should I go out and vote Republican in November? The Republican president is spitting in my face. He's fighting me at every turn as far as releasing the Epstein files because he's scared it's going to hurt his friends. He's got us into an unpopular war that is having detrimental economic effects for me and you and everybody else. Why should I mean, the Republican Congress, seeing this Republican president doing these detrimental things to our interests, are doing nothing to stop him. So again, why should I vote Republican? Now, I mean, I'm telling you, I can see people like Steve Bannon, if they should ever happen upon this live stream, I can see people like Steve Bannon or Caroline Wren or Jack Posobiec or others say, oh, I can't believe you're saying this. Excuse me. I'm asking a reasonable question. And please don't give me the argument that says, it's the lesser of two evils. I'm tired. I am tired of voting for the lesser of two evils. Can we please not have some men and women that when I go to vote for them, I'm like, by God, I can't wait to get this guy up on Capitol Hill. John McGarvey says, I get it. They are redistricting, assuming regular turnout. You're hypothesizing that our understandable demoralization will cause a lower turnout. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. That is genuinely what I think is going to happen here. None of the factors that are causing Trump's poll numbers to dive and the Republican Congress's poll numbers to dive, none of those factors are changing between now and November. I mean, yes, gas prices might come down. Okay. We might see that happen. But I don't think they're going to come down fast enough that, when voters go to the voting booth in November, that they're not going to be like, F these Republicans. Yeah, this Democrat's crazy, but they're not as bad off to my detrimental interests as the Republicans are. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Lana says, it seems there are damn few people I can vote for. I may sit the midterms out. And look, I am not telling you what to do. Do I think we should vote? Yes. Absolutely. Am I an automatic pull for the R that's on the ticket? Nope. Not anymore. I can vote for the Democrats. Democrats are crazy. They're nuts. I can't vote for them. But I'm not so sure I can pull the lever for the Republican. I'm serious about this. I mean, I have had how do I want to put this? I have had a disenchantment. That's probably the best way to say it. I've had a disenchantment with the Republican Party now for years. Okay. For a lot of different reasons. And this has little or nothing to do with Trump. Okay. I mean, the congressional Republicans are bad enough to give me enough reasons not to vote for their people. But anymore, it's even ridiculous. I think we should vote. I think we should start looking at alternatives. I think we should start looking at, if there are independents out. I mean, look, does that mean you're going to agree with the independent on every issue? Maybe not, but I got a feeling I'd rather vote for the independent now than I would for the Republican, with notable exceptions, which one of them we're going to get to here in a little bit. TBA says, we are not there yet. The midterms are light years away, in my opinion. We don't know. Let's see. We don't know what's coming at us in the next few months. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I don't necessarily disagree with that, except for one thing. The midterms may be, let's see, what is it now? May, June, July, August, September, October. What's called 6 months. The midterms may be 6 months away. Okay. 6 months. Mindset is starting to set in. Attitudes are starting to harden. I'm not there, man. I just don't think, I mean, unless there are some serious changing of the dynamics. That's probably the best. Changing of the dynamics. Then I don't see that. I mean, look, all the Democrats have to do, flip 3 seats. That's it. They flip 3 seats, they've got the House. So, I mean, and again, congratulations to the Republicans. Congratulations to the Republicans. I think you're doing what you need to do right now. And frankly, every state that's available to be able to do it in, who did I just see a minute ago pop this up on there? Who was it? Hang on. Yeah, TBA said Virginia's working on it, Bama's working on it, Tennessee's working on it, Carolina, Florida. I think Florida's, have they passed their plan to redistrict, or they're still kicking it around? Georgia's talking about it, but with Brian Kemp as the governor, who knows? Louisiana could, squeeze out maybe 1 or 2 more seats. So I think they should do it. I think all the Republican-controlled states, as much as they can, yeah, especially in light of the Supreme Court decision. If they've got districts that are racially gerrymandered, okay, then yeah, by court order, you have to change them. So I get it. If for no other reason than that, yeah, you need to change maps. I just don't think that the changing of the congressional maps is going to have the impact that Republican, party leaders are hoping that's going to have. And again, I could be dead wrong about this. And if I am, I'll come here and I'll tell you I was wrong. I just don't see it. But, like I say, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Oh, my goodness. There she is. How are you doing, you gorgeous thing, you? Mwah! Welcome into the Saturday Night Supper Club. Good to have you here with us, Gypsy. Good to have you. And yeah, I saw what you posted to me on X. I'm checking that out. That might wind up being a short or a video or something. But yes, thank you for giving me that. I will dive into that one because I want to know what's going on, because that looks weird as hell. You guys will find out what we're talking about later. Hold on to your hats. Let's see. TBA says, okay, Brian, what would you over the line to pull the, what would get you over the line? Okay, that's a good question. That is a completely fair question. Completely fair. What would get me over the line to vote for a Republican? Okay. 1, Trump get us out of the Iran war immediately. Just admit, come up with some kind of memorandum of understanding between us and the Iranians and get us the hell out of this thing. Okay, that's number 1. All right. Number 2, the immediate and unconditional release of everything in the Epstein files. Totally. Everything that's not out there right now, put it out there. I don't care whose name's on it. I don't care anything else. Then you're starting to get my attention. Okay, so you've got us out of the Iran war. You've got the complete and absolute, you've honored your word, you've kept your word on Epstein. This flirtation with amnesty, basically you nip that in the bud. Because Trump's talking about, maybe we ought to just, maybe we just ought to back off of this thing and get him. No, don't you dare. Don't you dare. Basically, the reversal of about everything going on right now would probably give me the incentive to vote for a Republican. Probably would. Among other things. We'll see. We will see. Oh, brother. Do you know how hard, John, that I am praying that you guys get rid of Lindsey Graham in June? Oh, my word, you have no idea. I mean, I am hoping. I know that Paul Dan's dropped out of that race. And I am really praying you guys can get rid of him. Really praying you can get rid of him. So, yeah. All right, that might be a good way to get me to vote Republican. Maybe. Might be a good way to get me to do it. It's just like I said. I mean, again, maybe I am being blackpilled and very cynical and whatever, but I just don't think that these redistricting moves are going to save the Republicans in the House. And it doesn't even address the fact they could probably lose the Senate. I mean, I can think of 2 Senate seats right now that are in desperate danger. North Carolina is one of them. And for those of you out there who are in the state of Ohio, don't be shocked if Sherrod Brown wins a seat back in the U.S. Senate. Don't be shocked if he beats John Husted come November. So, I mean, there's 2 right there. And there are some other vulnerable folks around the country. So, well, and and I think that's the problem. You're part of it anyway. I think everybody is past the pretending, at least the voters. They're tired of congressional Republicans, be they in the House or the Senate, pretending to be on our side and then going up there and stabbing us in the back. I think that's part of it. I mean, when you got John Thune, who cannot even be bothered to bring the SAVE Act to a vote, and Trump has told him, this is one of my biggest priorities. We got to get this thing done. Can't be bothered to do it. 70 to 80% of voters want voter ID during elections, mandatory voter ID. And John Thune's like, oh, I'm sorry, I have other agenda items. I have to get the seating chart right for my next cocktail party fundraiser. Again, why should we vote Republican if this is what we're going to get? Why? Anyway. All right, let us. Oh, by the way, who was it? Oh, it was TBA. Let me find his comment, because God, this is so funny. This is so funny. Oh yeah, here it is. TBA says, I heard the Virginia Democrats misspelled Virginia and senator in their appeal to the U.S. Supreme Court. If you have not seen what he's talking about, let me explain. I got a story here from the Washington Examiner. Virginia Democrats make long shot Supreme Court appeal after redistricting loss. This is an article by Kaylin Deese, and this is published yesterday. Virginia Democrats moved quickly Friday to keep alive a high-stakes redistricting battle with major implications for control of the U.S. House, signaling plans to ask the U.S. Supreme Court to delay enforcement of a Virginia Supreme Court ruling that struck down a Democrat-backed congressional map referendum. The motion, filed by Commonwealth of Virginia and Democrat legislative leaders, including State House Speaker Don Scott, State Senate Majority Leader Scott Survale, and Senate President Pro Tem Louise Lucas, asked the Virginia Supreme Court to pause issuance of its mandate while state Democrats pursue a long-shot appeal to the nation's high court. Now, if you're wondering what TBA is referring to, let me see if I can find this real fast. Hang on. One moment. I gotta find this. Hang on 1 second. Where is it? Come on, do not tell me. I'm pretty sure I reposted this. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. For those of you who may not have seen this, this is, yeah, here it is. And I don't know if I can enlarge this or not, but the Democrats, whoever the lawyers were that wrote this, misspelled not only the word Virginia, they misspelled the word senator in the appeal. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They misspelled. And again, I know we're probably all being very petty about this, so I get it. But that's just, I'm sorry. You're appealing your case to the state Supreme Court. You know, give me a break. Yeah, typing derangement syndrome is what they've got. Very true, my friend. Very true, Mr. Lowry. Very true indeed. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? What is this? Hang on, folks. Hang on. Let me see if. Ooh, hey. Ooh la la. Hold on. Hold the phone, folks. I just found out a feature that Rumble Studio does that StreamYard does not do. Was that? Yeah. Yeah. Talking about the Senate, pro tem, the state Senate pro tem, Louise Lucas. I don't know if you guys saw this either. FBI conducting a court-authorized criminal search warrant at the office of Virginia L. Louise Lucas, federal law enforcement officials say. Yeah. Well, who was it? Here it is. Yeah, they ought to be fired for the misspellings. I mean, they gave what's her name? Sidney Powell a lot of grief about this during 2020 because she was trying to write the brief so fast. So yeah, they're accusing her of bribery accusations. So, and by the way, word on the street is that investigation goes back to Joe Biden's Justice Department. That wasn't necessarily started under Trump. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway, tell you what, folks, let us move on to a different part of the supper club. We're working our way around the tables, as it were. And first, and by the way, to the folks out on Rumble, on YouTube, on X, and there are a slew of you on X. God love you. You guys are awesome tonight, and thank you for being here. For those of you maybe are stopping by, whether it be on X or wherever, my name is Brian Trippett. I'm known in social media as the Front Porch Conservative, and this is the Saturday Night Supper Club. Jackets are not necessarily required, but good conversation is. So if you've got opinions, if you've got comments, jokes, memes, whatever, hey, post that stuff. We'd love to hear what you've got to say. It is greatly, all are greatly appreciated. So there you go. All right. Moving along. So what's going on with the Iran war these days? Well, WWG1, what you do in the privacy of your own home while the Saturday Night Supper Club is underway is entirely up to you. Personally, I would recommend pants, but again, you're in the privacy of your own home. Okay, I'm not telling you what to do, but you know, oh boy, I tell you the truth. Folks, there is a reason why we refer to the folks on Rumble as wingnuts. If you needed to understand why, Just read that comment. Just say it. Okay, the Iran war. What is going on right now? Well, more or less, we're at the same place we were probably the last time we got together. There's a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. We're supposedly not letting any Iranian tankers out. They can't get anybody in. 13 million barrels of oil are being held up all the time. And we've got a ceasefire. Supposedly. However, and this is going to start coming out more and more all the time. Remember how it was said that before the war started on February 28th, the intel community was more or less of the conclusion that Iran, not trying to pursue a nuclear weapon, not going to get a nuclear weapon, not necessarily a threat to us? Well, check this out. From Fox News. U.S. intel community agreed before war Iran wasn't developing a nuclear weapon, ex-counterterrorism terrorism chief says. Joe Kent declared the narrative and agenda spun by a foreign government, Israel, won the argument and forced us into this war. Article by Alex Nitzberg, we have the following. Former National Counterterrorism Center Director Joe Kent asserted in a post on X that prior to the start of the Iran war, the U.S. intelligence community agreed that the Islamic Republic was not developing a nuclear weapon. Quote, one of the many tragedies of this war is that before the war began, the U.S. intel community, including the CIA, was in agreement that Iran wasn't developing a nuclear weapon and that Iran would target U.S. bases in the region and shut down the Strait of Hormuz if they were attacked by Israel and the U.S., Kent wrote in a post on Thursday. The IC, or intelligence community, also properly assessed that targeting the Iranian leadership would strengthen the regime and embolden the hardliners. Despite the professionalism and accuracy of the IC, the narrative and agenda spun by a foreign government, Israel, won the argument and forced us into this war, he continued. We need to understand exactly how this happened to ensure we are never put in this position again. White House spokesman David Engel said the following statement to Fox News Digital. Quote, Joe Kent's self-aggrandizing resignation letter and recent comments are riddled with lies. Most egregious are Kent's false claims that the largest state sponsor of terrorism somehow did not pose a threat to the United States and that Israel forced the president into launching Operation Epic Fury. As commander-in-chief, President Trump took decisive action based on strong evidence which showed that the terrorist Iranian regime posed an imminent threat and was preparing to strike Americans. President Trump's number one priority has always been ensuring the safety and security of the American people. Okay. Let's talk about this. And Robert, you know what? I understand where you're coming from, and I don't necessarily disagree with you, brother. I really don't. I don't necessarily disagree with you on this one. You know, here's where I'm coming from. And you know what? This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Let me find it here. We have a different opinion on the Iran war, but all good. And you know what, John? That's perfectly fine. You are at complete liberty to disagree with me on this. Lord knows I disagree with a lot of people on the Iran war. And you know what? I still love you. And I'm glad you're in the audience. And I'm glad you're here and glad to have the conversation. We just don't agree on this. And that's perfectly fine. And this, ladies and gentlemen, right here is what I'm talking about. Everybody is welcome at the Saturday Night Supper Club. That doesn't necessarily mean we got to agree on everything. Okay. So yeah, John, I'm glad you said that. And thank you for contributing that comment. Y'all have heard the expression that a blind dog finds a bone every now and then. Well, when it comes to the CIA and the Iranian nuclear question, I got a feeling that blind dog found a bone. And believe me, when it comes to CIA, I've got no great love for that institution. Okay, I really don't. I don't trust the CIA as far as I can pick them up and throw them. You know, but this may be one of those moments where they and the other members of the intelligence community in the U.S. maybe they got it right. And even if you lay aside the question of their opinion of the matter, I still go back to some circumstantial evidence that kind of leads me to my opinion. When the former religious leader in Iran, writes a religious edict, a fatwa, saying, hey, it is not consistent with our practice of the Islamic religion for our nation to pursue a nuclear weapon. They have held that position since 2003 or 2004. Okay. And frankly, I go back to something that I've said on several different live streams prior to this. Who are we to tell any nation in the world that they can or cannot have a nuclear program? The Iranians at various junctures. Matter of fact, and this is all reported, by the way, all this can be found. Before the war started, there were negotiations going on in Geneva. The Iranians offered the U.S. the following: look, we will give up any pursuit whatsoever now or going forward. We promise you we will not pursue a nuclear weapon. As a matter of fact, you want snap inspections? We'll give them to you. You want our uranium enriched only to a certain level? Fine, we'll agree to it. The U.S. was offered everything they wanted at Geneva on February 26th. And 2 days later, we started bombing them. And by the way, that's not me saying it. That is the foreign minister of Oman, who was the go-between in the negotiations. He was mediating that negotiation between the U.S. and the diplomats from Iran. And he went on any television station, television network you want to talk about and said, yeah, that's exactly what the Iranians offered him. Totally offered him. And what did we do? Went, nope, we're not going to have it. Goodbye. And started launching bombs. So if the CIA as a blind dog found a bone, more power to them. Like I say, and good people can disagree on this war. And I understand, like I say, I am not trying to shill for the Iranians. I have said that consistently on every live stream I've been on, here or any place else. I'm not shilling for these guys. But by the same token, our hands, the United States that is, our hands are not clean on this. Not at all. So we'll see. We will see. But anyway, more or less everything stands right where it is, right where it was. So not much has changed there. Now, that said, ladies and gentlemen, you may have heard the following sound coming up from various places in Great Britain in the past 72 hours. There was a lot of that going on in Great Britain recently. And in case you're wondering what exactly happened, it more or less went like this. The British had local elections, and the current governing party there, if you're not familiar with British politics at all, is the Labour Party, headed by Keir Starmer, the current Prime Minister of Great Britain. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you some charts, or more particularly one, from the BBC. Now, keep in mind, all these elections that were held in Great Britain recently were local elections. City council seats, mayoral seats. We're not talking about, for House of Commons or House of Lords. Okay. We're just talking about just city council seats. And most of them have been held by members of the Labour Party in Great Britain for decades. I heard about a guy, he'd held his seat, and I forget what the name of the city was, in Great Britain. He'd held that seat on city council for going on at least 30 years or more, and he lost. And let me tell you something. The numbers I'm going to show you, but before I do, I got to say hello to somebody. Small time, you old son of a gun, you old muckety muck, you old so-and-so. How you doing? Welcome to the supper club tonight. Glad to have you here. Oh, you're looking very fine tonight in your Saturday bests. Good to see you. Pull up a chair. We'll have the maitre d' come by with some menus here momentarily. Good to have you in the house. Now, see you folks out there on X. You start dropping comments, that's the kind of stuff you're going to hear from me. I'm just saying. So if you're out there watching this right now, hey, drop a comment. Tell us who you are. Now, to go back to what I was saying, how bad was it? How bad was it for the Labour Party in these local elections? Watch this. Labour lost almost 1,500 seats. Reform UK, which is the party headed up by Nigel Farage, won almost 1,500 seats. The Conservative Party, which, for decades in Great Britain had been the counter to Labour, lost 500 and some seats. This, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what the technical term is for what you're looking at, but where I come from, this is what you call an ass kicking. Okay? Labour got, there's no word that I could even use that accurately describes the level of decimation politically that the Labour Party in Great Britain suffered during this election. No, TBA, skunking doesn't even do it justice. I'm not mad at you for using the word. That's fine. If that's what you want to call it. Well, there's another term for it. But gentlemen, and when I say this respectfully to both of you, I don't even think that even accurately portrays how bad this was. Let me pop this back up on screen. Labour got, wiped out. Wiped out. I could use other ways to describe it. I just don't know how that it would do it justice. And here's the scary part if you're Keir Starmer. Right now, people inside his own party are screaming for him to step down because of this. Okay? And you can't blame them from just political survival standpoint. He's the head of the party. Even though these are local elections, it's a referendum on him. He's not only the leader of the party, he is the Prime Minister of Great Britain. These local elections are as much a referendum about Keir Starmer as they are, the question about, hey, can we get a bicycle lane put into our local town? You support that? Good, I'll vote for you. You don't support that? I'm not voting for you. It's beyond even local questions. This is about Keir Starmer, period. This is about him letting the condition of the country deteriorate so that his fellow members, his fellow Englishmen, are suffering. Well, that sort of begs the question. Okay, all right, let's talk about this for a second. He is publicly saying he's not resigning. and this is kind of like what we talked about a minute ago with the Republicans. Okay, let's assume for a moment Keir Starmer resigns tomorrow. Okay. And the Labor Party picks a new leader, which in the end would become the prime minister. Okay. Well, no, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. If he resigns, see, this is where I need to talk to somebody who's really good with British politics. If he resigns, does that not force the king to call for a special election? I really need to talk to somebody who's good on British politics about this, who understands their electoral system way better than I do. But okay, let's say he resigns. If he resigns, and I'm right, that forces a special election, then all hell breaks loose. Because the way this is shaping up right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the groundwork for Reform UK becoming the majority party in the House of Commons. This right here, barring some change between then and a national election, this is the foreshadowing of what's about to happen. Okay? Nigel Farage, barring some disaster, Nigel Farage is on his way to becoming prime minister at some point in the next 3 years. Because right now, the next regularly scheduled election for the House of Commons is 2029. I don't think they're going to get there. I mean, I could be wrong. I do not think they're going to get there. I think between now and then, an election is going to be held in Great Britain, and Reform UK is going to become the majority party in the House of Commons. Nigel Farage will be elected prime minister. I really believe it. And when that happens, I mean, right now, I mean, this morning I listened to a really good. Let me see if I can find this real fast, because these guys, when it comes to international politics, I recommend these guys every time. The boys from the Duran had a discussion about this very issue, and let me see if I can drop this in chat.
All right, Alexander.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Alex, hush. I'm going to drop this in chat for everybody. I really recommend. Oh no, only Rumble people can see this? Seriously? Oh, for heaven's sake. Okay, something new I didn't know about. Something new I did not know about Rumble Studio. But okay, we can work our way around that. That's not a problem. One moment, please. Un momento, por favor. There, that should start doing it. I'm going to see. There, that should start. Stop it. I'm going to see. Will you stop that? Okay. I've put that out there for as many people as can see it. I recommend you take a listen to Alexander Macoris and Alex Cristofaro on this, because I'm telling you right now, Keir Starmer is not long for prime ministership in Great Britain. All right, let's see what kind of comments you guys are dropping in there. Now, wait a minute. They are our brothers, you know. And I'm willing to give the British people a little bit of grief on this. Yeah, 1,400 seats. That was just plain ugly. Just ugly. No, John, I think you're absolutely right. I don't think he makes it to the next election. I really don't. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's stuff like this. The Labour Party has been in control of local city council seats in Wales for the longest time, and they just lost them. Just plain lost them. Let's see, what other comments have you guys got on this? Let's see. Well, now, that's a fair question, Gypsy, because I don't know who's doing the voting, but whoever they are, they've had enough. They have had enough of the Labor government. They're not going to vote for the Conservative Party anymore. So, yeah, I mean, I think we're just basically riding the wave until it crashes on the shores of Great Britain, bringing Reform UK into power. That's all we're waiting to see is when the wave hits. Okay, here's something I did not realize. Because the Prime Minister must command the confidence of the House of Commons, a new leader can take over without an immediate general election if they can maintain a parliamentary majority. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Okay. Let's see. Appointed by the monarch, the new leader is invited by Charles III to form a government as they command the confidence of the House of Commons. All right. Alternative, if the government cannot maintain a majority, a general election would be required to determine the new government. Ooh, this might be getting spicy in the near future. Very spicy indeed. So, yeah, the screams you heard over the weekend were coming out of Great Britain. And speaking of screams or potential screams that might be coming up in the near future, let us turn our attentions to the Commonwealth of Kentucky. And listen, you can think he's a grandstander, you can think whatever you like about the guy, but Thomas Massie may be one of the few people. I almost wish I lived in the Commonwealth of Kentucky just so I could vote for the guy. Again, not that I necessarily agree with him on everything or even how he does things, but you can make an argument that Thomas Massie is probably one of the most effective members of Congress as far as getting things done. He shepherded that Epstein bill all the way through the House and Senate and got it on Trump's desk and more or less forced Trump to sign the thing. So, but yeah, keep your eyes on Kentucky 4, ladies and gentlemen. Headline from the Washington Examiner: Massie says he may lose primary due to rivals pro-Israel cash advantage. Article by Molly Parks, we have the following. Representative Thomas Massie, Republican from Kentucky, expressed concern about the margins in his campaign against his Trump-endorsed primary opponent, Ed Gallarain, on Wednesday. Quote, "It's a single-point lead for me. It's not very fluid," Massie told Tucker Carlson in an interview Wednesday night. "It's going to be close. The result is going to be based on who turns out." Massie, who is running for his 8th term in the lower chamber, said his adversaries are spending $10 million against his campaign, claiming that the negative ad spending is coming from billionaires and pro-Israel groups such as the Republican Jewish Coalition and the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. Massie, who has consistently voted against foreign aid spending and military aid to Israel, has been a target of pro-Israel groups, particularly since President Trump boosted Gallarain over Massie. Gallarain, a former Navy SEAL, saw a boost to his confidence going into the primary for Kentucky's 4th congressional district this week when several of Trump's endorsed primary candidates in Indiana won their elections. Trump, who has backed several GOP candidates challenging Republican incumbents, had his bets on primary challengers pay off this week with his victories across the Indiana state elections. But Massey maintained during the Wednesday interview that the race is coming down to foreign funding ad spending. Quote, "The real reason that this race is a serious race and I may lose is because a foreign lobby that is funded to the extent that I've never seen done in any Republican race before my opponent," Massey said on the Tucker Carlson show. And I think I've got a clip of that. Hang on 1 minute. Give me 1 second here. I'm pretty sure I've got a clip from that interview. 1 moment, folks. Hang on, I'm trying to find this real fast. Well, I've got one clip. And if you want to know the links that the president is going to on certain things, this one's going to blow your mind. Again, I'm still thumbing through. Yeah, you want to know the links that the president and his people are going to try and get things done or stop things from happening? Check this out, because this is going to blow your mind.
For taking on those threats, Lauren Boebert, they took her over to the Situation Room, right? Like, this is where, if they're trying to kill or capture Osama bin Laden, this is where they are at the White House. They took her into the Situation Room and tried to whip her into taking her name off of the discharge petition.
Over Epstein.
Over Epstein, yep. And then the president vetoed a bill that would have brought water to a large portion of Colorado. Like,
over Epstein.
Over Epstein. And this isn't even, at this point, it's not just about Lauren Boebert. Why are people in Colorado deprived of water? Because their representative wants to expose a sex trafficking ring.
Yeah. No, Gypsy, I think you're absolutely right. I think you are absolutely right, my dear. I really do. It is sinister what they're trying to do to Thomas Massey. No doubt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Totally. Today alone, I got 13 political mailers. I'm ready for primary season to be over. I don't disagree with you there. I do not disagree with you there. But yeah, let me recommend this, going back to Thomas Massey. Rich Barris, who is the director of Big Data Poll, has his own channel on YouTube, by the way, is going into the field in Kentucky 4. He's going to be polling that race, because the primary is not, it's not this coming Tuesday, it's a week from Tuesday. So Barris is going into the field to do one final poll on Massey's primary race. Keep your eyes on Barris's channel. If you're a fan of Thomas Massey, keep your eyes on that, because he's gonna be checking on that one. So my fingers are crossed. I want to see Thomas Massey win his primary. I really do. And again, people can disagree with me about Massey all they want to, but honestly, I think Massey's one of the more effective members of the House. And frankly, not just the House, I'd argue the whole Congress. So we'll see. Anyway, I tell you what, it's about 7:45 on a Saturday night, and I know that you guys have more to do than hang around here. So let's go ahead and bring start warming up the band to bring the supper club to a conclusion. Tell you what, to go back to something that WWG1 said earlier in the live stream, let's go ahead and establish right now that next time, the time for the next live stream, I tell you what, let's try and get back on some kind of regularity here. Tuesday night, 7 o'clock. Okay. Let's set up for a live stream Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. I will be doing the newsroom here on X, on YouTube, on Rumble. So yeah, let's bring it in. First of all, I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. The folks on Rumble, on YouTube, especially you folks out there on X. God love you. You guys are just really cool. Really, really cool. And thank you for being here. And also thank you for your, well, you know what? I'll speak with the maitre d' about this, and we will make it a point to get you a complimentary dinner for next time around. How about that, Gypsy? I love you guys. I genuinely do. Thank you for your patience with me as I'm trying out Rumble Studio really for the first time. You guys are like really cool about it. And like I say, I may be switching over to this thing because I like the functionality. I really do. There's going to be some things I need to learn how to do with this program. I might reach out to Sean from Third Railify and see if he's got any tips, pointers, advice, that sort of thing. But yeah, thank you for being here for the first time in a while. My first time in a while, I should say. And thank you for the love that you guys have been showing me. I've been reading the comments across the platforms while I've been away, and I cannot thank you guys enough for your graciousness and for the love and the kindness that you're expressing to me. Given that, I haven't been as consistent in doing this as I would otherwise like to be. But, you guys, I stand by everything I've said. You guys are the best audience on the internet. I'd take you guys in the battle hands down over anybody else. So you guys are really cool. Let's get together again this coming Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And I thank you guys ever so much for everything. So you guys have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for stopping by the Saturday Night Supper Club. Love you guys very much. We'll see you this Tuesday night at 7 p.m. In the meanwhile, have a great rest of your weekend and a great Saturday night. Bye-bye.